Welcome to Tim Blake Art. My name's Tim, and this is my creative workflow using POSCA paint markers. I'm sure you may have heard about them. They're very popular right now, and this is kind of my first experience, quote unquote first experience. I've used them a little bit before, but nothing major. Like I've maybe been using them for a few months, if that. This is my third piece, I believe, that I've used them on an 8x6 canvas. This is a series called the Oogle series, and it's a post-pandemic character pop art illustrative series that I've decided to do about 50 canvases for. So it would be a diverse group of people, and also it kind of is full circle moment for my purpose of doing this, which is unity amongst diversity, and hopefully it inspires others. I will be doing a little review of the POSCA paint markers because I feel like there's a lot of different ways to use them. They're very, very versatile, and they are really an awesome tool. And I've enjoyed using them on canvas and wood. I have another video that you'll see where I did them on a piece of wood. I did use them on a piece of wood, I'm sorry. And yeah, it was really cool. They just work well. And I like all the color options, the different types of nibs and things like that. The marker that I'm using is a POSCA 5M. It's a bullet tip, and I really like these markers, to be honest. I'm working on a canvas, like a pre-gessoed canvas, and they take really well. They dry really well. The pigment's nice on them. I love the matte finish. That's something that I like a lot because when you normally use paint, acrylic paint, you have more of a glossy finish. Well, because the acrylic, that's just one of the characteristics that it has. And yeah, so this is what really pulled me towards the Posca markers is the matte finish. And also they have a variety of colors, 66 colors, I believe, and 8 different nips, I believe. Like variations of like sizes and nib types. I've learned that this is a reversible tip. So the 5Ms, you can take the tip out, turn it around once it loses its shape, or maybe to get a better flow. I'm not sure. I have not switched this yet, but as you can see, I have used it enough to probably switch it. This is my third canvas art piece, 8x10, that I've done using these markers for this series. So this tip is pretty wore out, and I did go buy a new one after this video, I believe it was. And I use a limited palette on this specific artwork, so I won't be showing any kind of blending or anything like that. I'm just pretty much doing like a pop art, heavy bold line work, and just one other color, which is pink, that I'll use. But yeah, most of them in the series will be very limited. The series is just a diverse group of characters that I'm just drawing kind of off the top of my head. I'll use a little reference here and there just to, get different kinds of features and hairstyles and this and that. So they all don't look the same. I want them to all the same style, but not to look like the same person. And you can see them on my Instagram, which is at Tim Blake Art, and my website is at timbart.store. I know it's weird, but it's a whole nother story. Anyway, so what I'm doing now is just, now that I've laid down the base shapes that I want to use, or the character, I'm going back and now kind of adding all the extra details. And I did draw this in pencil prior to using the POSCA marker, and at the beginning of the video you could see where it had the faint pencil line, so I knew where to lay the marker. And that makes it a lot simpler, but at the same time, sometimes it kind of is better to not draw with pencil, because I just feel like the pencil, if you don't actually mark exactly in the same areas, you can get kind of like, that eraser marker. It creates smudges and it's just not as clean. And then you have to go back with a white paint, or, try to draw over it, adding something else, but that might not have been a part of the plan. So yeah. Right here, I'm just adding in more detail, and I'm trying to figure out which way to kind of give her, like a jacket. I wanted a hoodie. So you're going to see this hoodie, that quote unquote hoodie. It was an afterthought, so it kind of works, but kind of doesn't work. I mean, I like it. It turned out decent. So we'll see. And something else I wanted to share was, whenever you're using these markers and you want to layer multiple colors, I use a heat gun personally, and, or I should say, I've used the heat gun, and it does help to dry it, to make sure that you don't pick up the marker on like the side of your palm, or, like smear it or anything like that. And also, if it's wet, whenever you start laying another color, it will pick up that color onto your nib. And so then you have to kind of try to bleed that nib out to get that color off of the marker you're trying to use. Because if not, it just doesn't, it creates a mess. I've learned that the hard way.
Like a film becomes a feature, I look for
I am trying to kind of give her a hoodie. I wanted her to have a hoodie. Um, it was kind of hard because it was an afterthought. So, and you see, I made a spot there on the canvas with the marker when I was shaking it uncontrollably. It kind of looks like a hoodie. I don't know. If someone tells you it's a hoodie, maybe. I mean, she has a bold chin, but everyone's different. So I've always enjoyed watching different artists create characters or do various scenes and things like that because it's so natural for them to draw these different people in different poses with different kinds of clothing on, different hairstyles, different skin colors. And it's just mind blowing because for me, it's not natural. It's not the context or the focus that I normally work in or work with or, you know, do my art, doing my art. Um, so it's just neat. And that's also one of the thoughts that I had about doing the series is this will help me become more understanding and more comfortable with incorporating the human figure or people and things like that within my artwork. So it definitely helps out and it's good to just kind of jump in with both feet and go along for the ride and learn and grow. So I definitely recommend that for anyone who is kind of like puts it on the back burner or has second thoughts. Just ignore those thoughts. You just have to go for it.
The memory as a whole, and it's hard to admit old habits, hard to forget. I spend the night alone, clear text from my phone, but hope you'll call me again. Oh, underneath the night sky, a world for you to hide, and I can never figure you out. When you step into the light, the shadows terrify the love I used to know. Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure, babe in the glow, outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name, now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face, your world I will forget. You'll become a silhouette.
And we're adding the details of the pink. So I decided to be cliche and use pink, but it was a good color for the hearts. Um, and this is a part I could have decided if I want to do this pink outline or not. I like it both ways, but I don't know. Once you start, you just gotta go with it. Go roll with the punches.
Hiding in the shadows. Profile figure, babe in the glow, outline the shape that you.
And see, it's weird because I like a natural marker tip. I feel like it's almost like using, well, no, it's kind of different. That's a paintbrush. Uh, Whenever I'm using a marker that's a standard size, I feel like it makes you practice to have more control over it. So whenever you do want different shapes or different um, thicknesses of your lines and things like that, you learn how to use the contour or the shape of the tip to make those marks. And I just think that that's really good to practice and to have. And so it's why I do like this size of bullet tip, the 3M, um, or the 5M. I'm sorry. Yes, it's the 5M because it's a medium. But yeah, I do like that for that reason. Though I do have, like I said, I have one of the 1Ms, the 3Ms, the 5M, and actually I thought that, no, I'm pretty sure the big chisel tip is a 8K. I'm sorry, I said it was a 7, but it's an 8K and it's a chisel shaped. It's cool. I like it.
Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure, babe, in the glow. Outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name. Now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face. Your world I will forget. You become a silhouette. Outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name. Now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face. Your world I will forget.
And I drew on the black on the mouth, on her lips, but I will go back with black and touch it up. And each of the character drawings, they all have some kind of background that also flows with the spiraling effect. So this one will have one as well. Just want to add an outline on the heart eyes. They almost look like sunglasses, but it works either way. It still goes with the flow. And these are the beginning. Is that come into my head as I'm drawing them because I've actually thought about making them digitally and printing them so I could really push the boundaries of them and go beyond 50 and be able to sell multiples of the same thing. That's kind of my only takeaway from just doing them on canvas, which I also think that it makes them more special. But I don't know, there's like this side of me that wants to, be able to give people what they want. Some people might see one and really like it. And if there's only one, then, I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, so I'm almost content with her and how she's turned out at this point. And I'm just like, touching up, trying to really bring in this hoodie effect that I was going for. And see that little black mark to the right of her head is was driving me crazy ever since I made it. So I chose to do something on this side of the canvas as far as a background so I could cover that up because it would be a pain in the butt to try and bring out the drawing so that it covered it or, you know, just trying to cover it up with white, it would just stand out because then you have to do the entire background in white. And I wanted to limit whatever I used on it to just the Posca markers. And I did, because I do sell these, I did use a golden high flow acrylic black because it comes in it's more of a liquid, almost like an India ink. And it's just very fluid and it's solid and it's easier to do touch ups or larger spaces on the background with the brush and the ink. So I didn't dry out or, you know, just keep going through these markers.